Hi and welcome back. It's Ivor David from the IT Bar, and you're back about to continue with the EDSQ Entry Level 3 simulation exam. Okay, don't forget it's just a simulation, so don't get too worried, right? So we're going to start from inside the classroom. Yeah, so make sure you get yourself into the classroom where you can see your assignment. Okay, so let's go onto the computer, have a look on the computer, and here we can see the assignment. Here, we click on the assignment itself, and then we go down to view instructions. Don't forget, you don't click on the link here, we go to view instructions so we can see them hand in or mark as done buttons here on the right hand side. So we can see that we've handed in 2 pieces of work already, yeah, and these 2 pieces of work were from part 1 of the simulation. We're going to start doing part 2. So let's just have a quick recap on what we did in part 1 and then what we will be doing in part 2, all right? To do that, we need to click on the link now that we're inside the assignment. We click on the link and we'll enter the simulation. Again, it's just a simulation, so we click on OK, and then we click on Confirm, and the simulation begins. Now, before we start the actual test down here, we can have a quick look to see what we covered in part 1. So in part 1, task 1, we was creating a folder, so we created the folder digital, and then in task 2 we sent an email, and then task 3 it was about searching for information, so we searched for train times, and then task 4 it was about buying train tickets to get us to the event, and then task 5 it was paying for the train tickets and answering completing other actions when it comes to paying for a train ticket. So we did all these things in part 1. In part 2 now, we're going to be doing task 6. And task 6 is creating an online poster. That sounds really exciting. I like a bit of graphics and design. All right, it's not going to be that complicated, to be honest with you. It's going to be quite straightforward. They wanted to keep it simple for the exam, okay? But these skills will help you for later on if you want to do something a bit more fancier for yourself. So let's move on. Let's go on to part 2. So let's start the test. And we've done part 1, so we're going to move on to part 2. Okay, so we're going to click on number 1 for part 2. And it says task 6, creating an online poster. And this one's quite important because you get 9 marks. Don't forget, if you don't save your work inside that digital folder, I'm warning you again, if you don't save this work inside your digital folder and you save it outside the digital folder, there's a very good chance that you will not get any of these 9 marks, even though you've completed all of the activities in this task. So that's a fair warning, okay? All right, so let's begin. First, it says, you are planning a charity cake sale. Use the information in file 1 to create a poster about the sale to post online, okay? So let's read it all first, just to make sure we understand what it is that we're meant to do. So it's saying that we need to download file 1 and one of the images. So if we look down to the bottom of the page, you can see there's file 1 here, and we've got 2 images that we can choose from. We don't have to then open or download or use both images. We just need to use one, okay? And in this case, we can actually get access to these files, all right? We can actually get access to these files, even though it's a simulation. And then it says, copy the text from file 1 into an appropriate document to make your poster. So we're gonna copy the text from file 1 and put it into Microsoft Word. And then we'll edit the poster to include the heading, time, date, and where it's taking place, etc. To get 3 marks. We're gonna add an image. We're going to make the poster attractive and use different font sizes, different colors, different alignments, and we're going to even add bullet points in the appropriate places. So now we know what we're going to do. We'll also need to save the poster into the folder and name the file sale. So it says here, save your poster in your folder. So this is where they've given that instruction to save it inside the digital folder. And we're going to call the poster sale with a small s. And then once we finish, we will upload the file by clicking on the Choose File Now button. Now, this is what I told you about before, where it says Choose File Now. This Choose File button here doesn't work on the simulation. In the live exam, it will work, and you'll be able to upload your file quite easily. But for the sake of this simulation, you are going to have to upload your file to me in the classroom, okay? So keep that in mind. It's a bit of a longer process, but I'll take you through it. Shall we get started? Great. All right, so let's start from the top now. Download file 1 and one of the images. So they want us to copy the text from file 1 really. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to file 1 and we're going to click on it. Just simply click on it. And when we click on file 1, look what happens. It gives us this text file. So it's quite boring, it's just a text file with all the information that we need to include in our poster. So you go to the beginning of the text and you can see the I bar there. And when I say I bar, the cursor turns into like an I shape. You click and hold the left button and you drag down to the end of where it says information and the exclamation mark. And then you let go. And now you've highlighted all the text you want to copy. Now you want to copy the text. So to copy the text, what we're going to do is we're going to put the cursor on top of the highlight, somewhere, any one of the highlights, but on top. I'm going to go here and I'm going to right click on this text. So I'm going to use the right button on the mouse. I'm going to right click on the text and I get a menu come up, which will allow me to copy. So I'm going to go to copy and click on copy. So now the text is being copied into what they call the cache for the computer. It's like the computer's short memory. All right, and what we're going to do now is we need to paste this into Microsoft Word. So I'm going to open up Microsoft Word. So if I go down to the bottom of my screen, let me go down to the bottom of the screen and I'm going to type in Word in the search box, W-O-R-D, and you'll see Word pops up on the top of the list. We'll click on Word and wait for Word to open. In the meantime, I'm going to have a sip of my drink. I got a drink that tastes like apple ties here. It says it has no sugars. And usually I can taste the horrible aftertaste when they do that, have no sugars, but this actually tastes really nice. I'm doing some product placement. All right, so what's happening here? Maybe later. Okay, so yeah, so if any messages pop up while you're opening your Word, Microsoft Word, just close them off. And then we go to blank document, which is here. So we click on blank document. And we've got our Microsoft Word page open. Right. So now that I'm refreshed, I can do the next stage, which is to paste the text that I've just copied. So I just go over to the paste icon up in the ribbon here. So this is the home ribbon along here. I'm going to click on the paste icon. So I'll click on paste. And all the text appears in my document. So far, so good. This is the point where you go back to the instructions in the simulation to check what you need to do next or to make sure you're on track. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the simulation. So I'll go down here, I'll go to my browser, and I'm going to go back to where the question 1 is, up in the tabs up here. And it says, let's scroll down. So it says, copy the text, which I've just done. And it says, edit your poster to include a heading, time and date of sale and where it's taking place, and we can get 3 marks for this. So now we can go back to Microsoft Word and we want to make a heading. So raising money for local charities, I'm not sure if that really is a good heading. What do you think? No, it's not. So let's look for what a good heading would be. So here it says your charity cake sale. Charity cake sale sounds like a good heading to me. So I'm going to highlight charity cake sale, and then I want to copy it, because you can change things as long as everything's included. I'm going to go to copy. I'm going to click just before where it says raising money for, because I want to make the text go down and paste in my own heading. So I'm going to press enter on the keyboard twice. I'm going to use the arrow keys to go back up again, and then I'm going to click on paste. Can you see paste here? And I get charity cake sale up here as well. So now I've got myself a heading. and I can make it look nice now. So I'm going to turn this into a heading. So an easy way to turn this into a heading is just to highlight it and make it really big. Now here's the thing, when it comes to doing this, please make sure that when you do changes of font sizes or colors or whatever, or alignment, make sure it's very clear and dramatic almost. So make sure that the examiners are certain of what you're doing. So here I'm going to make sure that my text is much bigger. So I'm going to use I could use the font size drop down menu and choose any one of these, or I can just literally click on the big A or the small a to increase or decrease the size of the font that I have selected. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the A and watch. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm going to make it nice and big, like a big poster. I want to draw people's attention when they're walking by. And then I want to make it bold. It's always good to have a big, bold heading. We're going to keep it simple though, we're not going to overdo it. And let's make it a different font. Let's make it something nice. So we're going to change the font to something nice. Let's see, bear with me. I can be a bit fussy when it comes to design. Can I get carried away? So I'm going to do something. Oh, this will do. Let's do Broadway. Why not? We'll do Broadway. It's distinct and it looks quite nice. And then I'm going to change the color. So what color should we have it as? Something bright. So we're going to change the font color. So if we go over here to in this drop down menu here for the font color, we're going to make it something bright. We could do red, I suppose. Red will work. Red looks nice. Charity cake sale. Wonderful. And I think we're done. Okay. And then we're going to start changing things up to make it fit with the heading and start making it look like a poster. One of the tricks I take to people when it comes to making things look like a poster is to center everything. You can just center everything if you wanted to. In this case, all you have to do is click on, hold Control down and tap A, and then go to the center icon here. And then you will center everything. And instantly it starts looking like a poster. Don't forget, we're still going to have to make some bullet points, which will probably be better if they're left aligned. Okay, so I hope you're following me so far. So we've centered everything, and this raising money for local charities looks good for a subheading. So I'm going to click just before the R. I'm going to press backspace and go up, and I'll center it again. There we go. So it's closer to the heading. And I want this to be bold or bigger, but not bigger than the heading. But just to say what we're doing and make it bold. And I think I'll make this blue. I'll make it blue. There you go. Maybe a dark blue. About a darker blue. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, and I think I'll change the font. Now you can't, when you're doing posters, you shouldn't have too many fonts. It just looks a bit messy. But we still got a few more fonts we could play with. Now I know during the test you're not really want to mess around too much, so I'm fully aware of that. But I think it'd be nice if we get this right. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep it as Arial black, and then I'll make it slightly smaller. I think that's better. Starting to look like a poster. All right, it says come and join us at Wood Lane Centre on October the 5th for our charity cake sale. So I'm going to separate these into separate lines. So come and join us. So I press enter. So leave it as the Wood Lane Centre, and then I'll put on the date below it, and I'm going to put come and join us and make it really big. Come and join us. There you go. Because we really want people to turn up. So come and join us. Come along. I won't make it yellow. Yellow's not nice. I'll make it red and leave it thin, like that. And then the location. And if I wanted to have the similar font at the top, all I got to do is go up here, because this is Arial, yes? Arial black. So I just want this one to be Arial and not Aptos. So I'm going to change this to Arial. So let's look for Arial. So we scroll down, and there's Arial here. And I want them all to be Arial. I want it all to be Arial. So we scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then change it to Arial. There we go. It's all Arial now. Wonderful. So far so good. I'm having fun doing this. Come and join us for our cake sale. Actually, I think this should be all one line. I think it's starting to look a bit. Let's try this. Yeah. All one line. So, there we go. Other activities, right. So this is where the bullet points come in. So it says other activities will include games for children, a raffle with prizes, and a bookstall. Balloon artist Jolly Holly will also be there. So that's a list of people, and that's a good spot for bullet points. You can't just put bullet points anywhere. I've seen people hand this in to me and they put the bullet points on any paragraph. It doesn't make sense. So let's go with where it says other activities will include, and then we'll put a colon there, and then we're going to press enter. And oh, sorry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to left align all this so it's on the left like that. So it will include games, so we'll put a capital G for the children, get rid of the comma, then put enter again. Let's get rid of the small r for raffle and put a capital R. Raffle with prizes. And we could put a bookstore with a capital A, so we can get rid of the and put a bookstore. And we can also put balloon artist Jolly Holly will also be there. And this way we have got ourselves a list that we can bullet point. So let's first of all make this nice and bold and draw attention to the list of activities that will be there. So let's make that red as well. And we can make that a bit bigger and bold. And then we can highlight the list of things, and then we need to make our bullet points. And we'll find our bullet points in the paragraph group. So this is the groups. We've got the font group, the clipboard group, the styles group, and so on. But we're going to use the paragraph group. So we click on the bullet points in the paragraph group, and there we have our bullet points. And that's looking very professional. I think now we can move further down, and then we'll look at the text. And can you see that in the text, there's some grammatical errors and some mistakes here. It says open 11 a.m. at, and it's got the euro sign here, so we don't need that. So open at 11 a.m. I think it means until 2:30. So we're going to highlight those two, press delete, and put until. And that makes more sense, yeah? Until 2:30 p.m. I'm going to click the space in between and press delete on the keyboard to bring the text up. Come early to get the pick of the cakes. I'll be there first. All right, let's make this nice and big as well so we can see that the doors open at a certain time, and then we can make this text similar to this text. All right, so we're going to make it a bit bigger. Here we go. And then we'll make this nice and bold and blue. So, because that's the style that I've got going on here. Nice and bold and blue. So we've changed the alignments, we've changed the fonts. It's looking like a poster. We've got another grammatical error here, or some unusual text. Entry fee is £1 for adults and free for children. That's a bargain, especially if you're going to meet Jolly Holly. All right. So entry and free for children. Again, let's just make this bold as well and make it a little bigger. There we go. And then it says all money raised will go to local charities. Let's get rid of this. euro sign again. And there's a space after kid biz. So we get rid of the space. After it's between the space and the quotation mark, you see. And 1 o'clock club. So we also need to get rid of that, and we're going to call it the 1 and apostrophe o'clock club. And I think they want to have a quotation mark on the end. So you've got to fix these things and make it look right. You can't just leave them, all right? So there we go. So all money raised will go to local charities, Kid Biz and Mosley 1 o'clock club. There you go, that sounds great. So I think we should make this nice and big as well. So let's make that bigger. Make it bold. Actually make it smaller now. See, because it's gone too far on the line, it's dropped down. So we're going to use the small a to decrease the size, and it fits back again. And I know if you don't like my design, you can do your own, but as long as you cover all the things that they said that you need to cover in the tasks. So finally it says, are you a great home baker? Do you make the world's best brownies? All right, so let's get rid of the TM again. We need an apostrophe for world's best brownies. Keep on fixing the errors. The finest flapjacks or tastiest tarts. Yeah, so I think this should go on an extra line like this. And then this should be nice and big to encourage people to take part in this part of the activities for the day. And again, I'll click on message for information, bring it down. Go back up like this. That's it. And then I'm going to make this big, bold, and blue. Something like that. Yeah. And then message us for more information, which I'm going to make super large. And I'll bring it down to draw attention. And there you have it. I think that should be enough. Okay. So what you do is once you've actually completed the editing, you just go up and down and check. You can actually zoom out. So if you go down here, and you can see the zoom slider down here on the bottom right. You click on it, you can drag to the left and back up a bit and see how your poster is looking. And I think that looks rather nice. What do you think? Well, if you don't like it, make your own one and make it better. And if you do like it, thank you very much. All right, so let's move on. Now we've done that, we just need to go and check with the sim instructions, the exam instructions, to make sure that we've covered everything, okay? So let's go back to the browser and let's just see the time and place, time and date of sale. In the actual exam, sometimes they say to you that they want you to change the actual date. So be very mindful of that. So you'll hear it will say, change the date to, I don't know, to Saturday the 4th, when it previously said Friday the 3rd. So you'll need to be aware of that and then go back into your Word document and then change whatever time to whatever time it is that they say, okay? Don't fall for that trap because you'll be marked down, okay? So I'm gonna go back to the instructions again and see what else it says, where it's taking place. We got that, so that's our definite 3 marks. We need to add an image, you see? We've almost forgotten about the image. So let's go and choose an image. So let's go down to the bottom here and see which image we're gonna choose. Let's see what image 1 looks like. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna have that. It just came right in my face. Oh, the strawberry looks delicious, so I'm gonna have that, right? So to copy this, all you need to do is literally right click on it, copy image, yeah? Then go back to your Word document. So I'm gonna press the indicate for the Word document. And now I've got to find a space for this, so I might have to move some of this text down or up. I don't know. I think I might put this at the bottom, where they're talking about the taster's tarts and the baking aspect of it. So I'm going to click where I want the image to appear. So always click where you want it to appear. Let me scroll in a little bit more. So I'm going to use the slider to click where I want it to be, and we use the slider to go in a little bit more, like this. And then all I got to do now that I got my space, because this is where it's going to land. Be careful where the cursor is, and then I'm going to click on paste, and the image comes in. It's probably going to go down to the next page. Don't panic, don't worry if it goes to the next page. All you got to do is do two things. First of all, let's make it smaller, and we just take control of it, go to the corner, and we just drag it to the center like this, and it gets nice and small. If it's not small enough, then we need to make some more space on this page, okay? So how we do that is we look for some gaps in between the text. So there's a nice big gap here. So I'm going to click in this gap at the top, press delete on the keyboard, and it brings everything up. And then we still need more space. So I'm going to click in this space here. No, I'll click in this space, the next space along, and press delete. And you see the text, the picture pops straight back up, yeah? So that's how you do it. If your picture goes onto the next page, just go back to the beginning of the document and look for spaces that you can delete in between the text. And if you don't like the text being too close to something, then you can actually see here, I think that this is too close to where it says Wood Lane. So I'm going to press enter, it will drop it down again, the image will fly back onto the next page, and I'm going to delete the space down here instead and press delete, and it should pop back up. And I think that for me, that looks better. I like the gap between the activities. Okay, so there we go. So let's just do the slider again. Slide out, and that's looking terrific, isn't it? No examiner can't say that they don't like that. And also, they'll be tempted by that strawberry cake that they see in there. All right, so let's see. Let's just make sure that we've covered everything. So we go back to the exam, and we click on the questions in the tab at the top, and it says save the poster in your folder, name the file sale. Okay, so we've done all these things here, different font sizes, different colors, different font colors, different alignments. We've added bullet points, so we've got all our 4 marks for sure. All we've got to do now is save the poster in the folder. And if you don't save in your folder, like I said, I'm going to keep reminding you, save it inside the digital folder. Not outside, but inside the digital folder with all those other documents and files that you made. So let's go to save it as sale. So we're going to go back to the Word document. We're going to go to File, Save As, because we're saving for the first time. We're going to go to Browse, and then from Browse, we're going to look for our Documents folder. So we go to Documents, and then we see our Documents folder here. So we double click into the Documents folder, and we see our folder called Digital. We go inside the folder called Digital. When I double click to go inside a folder or to activate a file, I try to avoid clicking on the word. I tend to click on the yellow icon or the icon, because if you don't do that, this can happen. If I do this and then that, it could do this, and you could start pressing delete, and it could be very upsetting and stressful during the exam. So if you do that, just click away and double click on the icon. And then in here, it's called Charity Cake Sale. Now the reason why the word Charity Cake Sale has come up automatically is because in Word, let me show you, in Word, and we go back, Charity Cake Sale is the first line in the Word document. So when you're saving, Word will automatically use this top line as part of the file name, just in case you're in a hurry. But we don't want to use that. We want to call it sale with a small s. So we go to File, Save As, Browse, Documents, and we look for our Documents folder, go into Digital, and then we'll change this to Sale. So I click at the, well past it, I click over here somewhere, and I press delete, and then I type sale, S-A-L-E. Now, this is taking me much longer than it should take you, okay? I've just been demonstrating as I've been going along, but for you, it shouldn't take so long, okay? And then we go to sale, and we click on, make sure that we're in digital, always just double check, and then we click on save. Save. And if we look at the top, it says sale doc, so we've given it the correct name, and we can actually close this now. But let's just double check. I always double check. I know it sounds a bit, much, but I want to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. Oh, look, see, upload the file by clicking choose. So we need to upload this file to the classroom, don't we? To hand in to the teacher. In the exam, you'll click on this though, choose file, and you'll upload the poster to the exam. But because we're doing the simulation, you're going to upload it to, that's right, to the classroom. So let's do that. And then we'll move on to the next part, okay? So let's go back to the poster in Word, and we're going to close that file. We don't need that anymore. We're going to go to the classroom. Now we've Now we've already submitted 2 pieces of work. So what you want to do in order to submit something new or additional, you click on unsubmit, and you unsubmit, and then you'll see the add icon reappear, and we can use that to add this new poster. So let's do that. So we click on add file, because we're adding a file, and then we go to browse, because we want to look for it. And then we can see sale here. So we click on sale, and then we click on open, and then it will upload. And there it is. See, it's on its way up. Lovely, there it is. And then we can turn in. So click on turn in, or mark as done, and that's that. So that's been done now. So we've got 3 pieces of work that you would, when you do this simulation, that you will need to upload to the classroom. But don't forget, in the exam, you won't need to do this. You'll just upload it straight to the exam site, okay? All right, I think if we go back here to the questions, it looks like we've finished part 2. Well done again. This time you can give yourself a pat on your other shoulder. I'm sure you did it on this shoulder last time, or you could just do it on both shoulders. Either way, you should be proud of yourself. Next, we're going to be doing part 3. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And and like I said in the previous one, if I've gone too fast or I've said some things that you're not quite sure or you haven't caught, you know what you can do. You can always pause me, rewind me, and you can play me again. I'll see you in the next video.